Come on in, family. Come on in. What's up with you, Scott? Let me see it back. Let me just sit. Porter of nonsense. What's up with you? I'm trying to help my wife get on the internet. She's struggling. Yeah. So, Gene T, what's up with you? Man, family, we're gonna go ahead and get started. Here you go, babe. It's taking too long to get going. Man, we're gonna go ahead and get started. Man, on behalf of my mother-in-law, may God bless each and every one of you that catch this on the live. For every one of you that are here, that's here on the live, and for those of you that catch this on the replay, may God bless you as well. Man, family, we're talking about being lighthearted today. Thomas, what's up with you, man? We're talking about being lighthearted today. And so you'll probably see the queen sign in up under another name. She's on her mom's phone. Her phone's wigging out, so she's gonna be on her mom's phone. What's up with you, Carter? Man, that being said, man, family, it's beautiful out. You know, it's been kind of overcast out here, and one of those days, like, man, you just want to stay in and cuddle up, you know what I mean, and just watch movies and just hang out and not really do a whole lot. That's how it's been today. And I struggled with getting on and doing this live. What's up, DJ Frazier? Man, I struggled with getting on and doing this live, you know what I mean? Because it's like, man, I just wasn't feeling it. I just want to just keep snuggling up with the queen and just, you know what I mean? But it's like, man, you got to do it. You got to get up and you got to keep pushing forward. You know what I mean? You got to get up and keep pushing forward. And I'm sharing that. What's up, Scorpio lady? Man, I didn't hear any ambulance, any cops all day today. You know what I mean? At all today. It is like 6:30 here. You know, we didn't hear none of this madness until, you know, we go live. What's up, Olivia? Now they all want to come out the woodworks. You know what I mean? It is what it is. I'm not sharing that as far as, man, sometimes you just don't feel it. You know, you just like, man, I just want to just lay low today. But you never know who needs to hear what you have to say. You never know whose life you're going to bless. What's up, babe? You never know who you're going to have an impact on that particular day. You know what I mean? On the day that you decide to take off, on the day that you decide, man, I'm not doing it today. I'm not feeling it today. What's up, Black Devil? You know, whatever it is, you know what I mean? Man, that's the day that somebody really needs to hear you. That's the day that somebody needs what you have to say. You know what I mean? And so I'm sharing that with you guys because, you know, I know some of you have YouTube channels. Some of you are, you know, using your platforms, your social media platforms to speak into other people's lives. And I know that you do that consistently. You know what I mean? Escaping the maze. What's up? Man, you got to stay faithful with that. You got to stay consistent with that. You have to stay consistent with that because, again, you never know who's going through what. You know what I mean? You never know who's dealing with what pain and struggle and chaos is in that day. And they need your light. They need your love. They need your compassion. They need all that you bring to the table. You know what I mean? They need what you bring to the table. So you got to push through your, man, I'm not feeling it today. You got to push through, man, I'm just going to take a day off. You got to push through all of that because you never know who's needing what you have to bring to the table. Okay, today we're talking about being lighthearted. And I spelt it this way on purpose. You know what I mean? Lighthearted. The ancients in ancient Africa, they had, you know, this belief system that when you died, you know, your heart was feathered again. Your heart was weighed against a feather. And if your heart wasn't as light as that feather, then you weren't considered righteous. If your heart wasn't as light as that feather, you're deemed as having some stuff in your life that made it impossible for you to pass on to heaven. You know what I mean? You couldn't go in. You know what I mean? You couldn't go on in there. You know what I mean? Because there's some stuff about you that just wasn't right. And so that's what we're talking about today, lighthearted. And it's a trip because when you look at the heart, and I'm talking about this because I know there's so many people stressed out. I know there's so many people just overwhelmed, just the burdens of society, the burdens of just trying to make it through the day, the stresses of just, man, how do I stay positive in this chaotic world? How do I stay positive, although in the midst of all this hell, in the midst of all this madness going on around us? How do I stay positive? How do I stay focused? How do I stay true to me with my family acting up and the jobs acting up and my ex and my baby daddy, baby mama, my kids, whatever they can? How do I stay positive in the midst of all this drama? How do I stay positive and people always calling or texting me and it's just with some madness, with some bullshit? How do I stay true to me? How do I stay a beacon of light in this dark world? What's up, Raymond? How do I stay so positive when everything is falling around me? How do I stay positive? Everything is crumbling around me. I don't know how I'm gonna pay the rent. I don't know if I'm gonna get evicted or not. I don't know this. I don't know this. Man, my car's acting up. I don't have money for the bus. I don't have money for the train. What am I? Man, I ain't got no Uber money. Man, and we get frustrated. I get there, been there, done that. You know what I mean? Been there, done that. Been there, done that. You know what I mean? There's times where I struggled with not having enough money to just feed the kids. You know what I mean? As a single parent. So I didn't eat. I didn't eat because I wanted to make sure that my kids had enough food so that they could eat for the next day. And so I sacrificed not eating so that my kids could eat what I would eat. They could eat that for the next night. I've been there where I didn't have a washing machine, you know what I mean, and a dryer. And so I'm washing their clothes because y'all know, man, little 4-year-olds and 6-year-olds, they dirty and grimy as mess, you know what I mean? And man, so I'm washing their clothes in the bathtub and hanging them throughout the house with fans on them so that they could air dry. Because I didn't have the change to go to the laundromat. I've been poor, like broke, poor. You know what I mean? Poor. Not poor like most people in America where you still got cell phones, you still got cable TV and all this other crazy stuff. You got a bunch of food in the refrigerator. And nah, I wasn't that poor. I was poor. We didn't have all of that. We didn't have all that. You know what I mean? And so, man, I understand the frustration. I understand, man, I ain't got nobody I could lean on. I ain't got nobody to help me. I can't rely on my family. I can't depend on my own flesh and blood. And so if I don't take care of these kids, ain't nobody gonna take care of them. If I don't get off work and come home and I'm dog dead tired, I'm stressed the hell out, but I still gotta make sure they do their homework. I still gotta make sure that they got something to eat. I still gotta make sure that their clothes is pressed and ready for the next day. I still gotta make sure that they get their baths and go to bed on time. I still got responsibilities, regardless of whether or not I wanna check out or not. We're talking about being lighthearted. Stay with me. And see, these are the things that keep us from being lighthearted. The fact that we don't want to deal with our drama and our trauma. The fact that we don't know how to deal with the stressors in life. The fact that we got loneliness and man, that's frustrating to us. How come I can't find love? How come I can't have that person in my life? How come I can't find a good man to help me with my kids? How come I can't find a good woman to help me with my kids? I'm not a bad person. How come nobody values me? How come nobody loves me? How come nobody will give me a chance? How come I'm always the person that they want to come talk to about their broken relationships? I'm always the person they want to come tell about how this woman dogged them out or this guy don't dog them out. But they never want to see that I got a good heart. They see that I'm a good natured person. They see that I'm kind and I'm caring and compassionate but they don't see me as that person that, man, I'll love you. I'll never betray you. I'll never sabotage you. I'll never cheat on you. I'll never disrespect you. They see me as that friend zone. You know what I mean? I'm always kept in the friend zone. and they see all these tramps, they see all these hood rats, they see all these gold diggers, they see all these knuckleheads as the people that they want to get in relationships with. How come they can't see that in me? How come they can't see that I'm marriage material? How come they can't see that I'm dating material? How come they can't see that, man, I've been with this guy for 15 years and he's never proposed to me? And I see all these people being together 3 months, 4 months, and they're engaged. They got a ring. And I gave this guy the best years of my life. I've given him all these kids, and he still won't propose to me. He won't buy me a ring. He won't take me on vacation. What's wrong with me? And so, we're not lighthearted. What I mean lighthearted, man, we're carrying the stress of the world. Man, on my back, I have this huge cross, a huge cross that covers my back. And I got that cross tatted on my back. I had my daughter draw it for me. And it's on my back because it's just a reminder to me, man, we all have our own cross to bear. And before all you Afrocentric people get all wigged out on me, man, I got onks on my arms too. You know what I mean? I got one on each arm going the opposite direction. So don't get wigged out because I got a cross on my back. You know what I mean? That represents the burdens, the responsibilities that I have to carry. That represents all the pain, the struggle, the drama, the trauma that I've had to carry, that I've had to endure. And so when I think about Jesus, and I'm not one of those people that, oh, Jesus, I'm not that person at all in any way, shape, or form. I believe that there's truths in everything that you can read. You know what I mean? I believe that there's a lot of truths in that. I believe that that stuff has been manipulated, you know what I mean? But there's still truths to it. And it's how you apply it to your life. And so when I think about Jesus, I don't see Jesus as, man, he came to save me from my sins. He came to save me and rescue me. No, I don't see him as that. I see the crap that he had to go through. Man, that reminds me, I got to go through that crap. I got to save myself. I got to carry my own cross. Life is going to beat the snot out of us, but I still got to carry my cross. And what is my cross? My cross is the fact that I grew up in the toxic family that I did. My cross is the fact that I've gone through the hell that I did. My cross is the fact that I think so lowly of myself. My cross is the fact that I don't love me. I don't value me. I'm lonely and frustrated. My cross is, man, I was a single parent for years. Whatever your cross is, maybe your cross is your struggle with substance abuse. Maybe your cross is, man, you got a dead-end job. Maybe your cross, you come from wealthy families and you're struggling trying to find your identity, how you fit in this picture. Maybe that's your cross. Whatever your cross is, man, you got to carry your own cross. What's up, Sean's workout? You have to carry your cross. And you don't carry your cross so that you can walk around and be a victim. You carry your cross because you understand, man, I came here for a purpose. I came here not to be a victim. I came here to go through all of this hell that I've gone through, all of the hell that I'm going through. I came here for this. And so me carrying my cross is not me being a victim. Me carrying my cross is not pointing the fingers at anybody else and talking about, woe is me, and why are they doing this to me, and why they did this to me, and blah. No, that's not why I carry the cross. I carry the cross because I'm trying to learn something. I carry the cross because it's teaching me some things about why I'm here. I carry the cross because I get a greater understanding of who I am. And as long as I have a victim mentality, I'm not lighthearted. As long as I have a victim mentality and I'm angry at everybody for why I got to go through all I got to go through, and I'm angry at my dad and bitter and resentful and have all this, and as long as we got all that stuff, man, you're not lighthearted. What's up with you, Loretta? You're not lighthearted. As long as you're frustrated and you're stressing over the the pressures of life. Regardless of what you're stressing over, you're not lighthearted. As long as you're worried about tomorrow and what the future holds, you're not lighthearted. As long as you're stressing and mad and angry and bitter over the crap that you've gone through in the past and everything that's happened to you, you was abandoned and left to take care of these 5 kids or whatever the case may be. Your mama's sick, your daddy's sick, and your siblings ain't nowhere around, and they ain't trying to take care of your mom. They ain't trying to help you do all this stuff, and you got to do all this stuff all by yourself. As long as you're mad and angry and bitter and resentful and frustrated over the past, you're not lighthearted. You're not lighthearted. And so if you was to die today, man, your heart wouldn't be equal to that of a feather. What makes you lighthearted? Good question. What makes you lighthearted is the ability to live in the now. What makes you lighthearted is the ability to let go of the past. What makes you lighthearted is the ability to forgive, the ability to be grateful. Regardless of what you're missing, regardless of what you don't have, the ability to be grateful. Man, I don't have everything I want. I don't have what I think I need. But man, I've had a whole lot worse. You know what I mean? Man, I've had a whole lot less. Man, I've been a whole lot more broke. Man, life has been a whole lot more messy. And so I'm grateful for where I'm at. See, gratitude is not just saying thank you. You could say thank you and still not be grateful. And I tell people all the time, stop forcing your kids, stop forcing people to say thank you. When you do something to somebody, man, whether they say thank you or not is irrelevant. That's irrelevant. You shouldn't have to tell people to say thank you. But just because somebody said, what's up with you, Yara? Man, we need to connect again. I haven't talked to you in a while. Man, just because somebody says thank you doesn't mean that they're grateful. People say thank you out of courtesy. People say thank you because that's what they're expected to say, not because they truly mean it. So many of us, we say, man, thank you, God, for blessing me with this. Thank you, God, I don't have this. But we really don't mean it. See, a gratitude attitude, man, regardless of my circumstances, I'm grateful. See, gratitude is a lifestyle. I'm saying it again. Gratitude is a lifestyle. Regardless of what's going on around me, man, I'm grateful. Regardless of what's going on around me, regardless of what I don't have my king. I don't have my queen. I don't have my millions. I don't have my Bentley and my mansion and all this other, but I'm grateful. I'm thankful. That's gratitude. And so, man, how do you become lighthearted? Man, let go of the past. Let go of your fear and your concern and your control issues with trying to control the future. See, so many of us, we didn't like the past. And because we're fixated on the past, we're trying to control and manipulate the future. That's where stresses come. That's where anxiety comes. We didn't like the past. And now we're trying to manipulate and dictate the future. As opposed to being grateful, as opposed to living in the now. See, living in the now and going with the flow, it says, man, it is what it is. You know what I mean? It is what it is. I let go of my judgment of the past, of all the crap that I've gone through. I let go of my control of the future. And I get in alignment with my greater good. I get in alignment with the Most High. I get in alignment with Source, Universe, God, whatever you want to call it. And because now I'm in alignment, man, I could just sit back and relax. Why? Because everything is always working out for me. And because everything's always working out for me, I ain't got to stress over the future. I ain't got to stress over how this is going to get paid, how this door is going to open up, and all this other stuff. I don't have to stress over that. I don't have to control that and manipulate and try to make things happen. Because I'm in alignment. I could just go with the flow. And when you go with the flow, man, you're like a feather just floating in the air. You don't have to fight. You don't have to politic. You don't have to manipulate and connive people to do things for you. You ain't got to do any of that crazy stuff. You do that stuff because you got control issues. You do that stuff because you got the fear that you haven't let go of. And because you're scared of the past, you're trying to control the future. Man. Waldo Emerson, one of my favorite writers, one of my favorite thinkers. What's up with you, Cody? One of my favorite thinkers wrote this quote. It says, right, and I got this written in the description so you guys don't have to write it down. It's in the description of this page, whatever. And so it says, write it on your heart that every day is the best day of the year, best day in the year. He is rich who owns the day, and no one owns the day who allows it to be invaded with fret and anxiety. I'm gonna read that to you again. Waldo Emerson, one of my favorite thinkers, one of my favorite philosophers, one of my favorite writers, wrote this, is credited with this quote. Write it on your heart that every day is the best day in the year. He is rich who owns the day, and no one owns the day who allows it to be invaded with fret and anxiety. See, and that's exactly what I was talking about. Man, you can't control the past. You can't control the future. As long as you're focused on either one, man, you're a slave to it. You're a slave to your past. You're a slave to your future. And so you're gonna have fear. You're gonna have anxiety. You're gonna have worry and doubt and all these other issues. Why? Because you're not living in the moment. Because you're not connected to your greater good. You're not connected to the Most High. You're not living in alignment with your greatest good. That's why you're stressed out. That's why you have anxiety. That's why you're fearful. That's why you're angry. That's why you're bitter. And all these other things. And it's a trip because, man, talking to my queen all the time. And people always like, man, dude, you just seem so carefree. Man, Elijah, nothing fazes you. It's like nothing bothers you. It's like you just live your life and it's like you don't even care about stuff. And it's like, we know you care about stuff, but it's like you act like you don't care because you're just so nonchalant. It's like nothing fazes you. Family, we have to get to the point where it's like, man, we just throw up our hands. You do the best that you could do. And then you just throw up your hands. It's like, okay, man, God, source, most high, man, you meditate. And it's like, okay, what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do with my life today? And so I wake up, I was talking to the queen about this morning. Man, I wake up and it's like I have this anxiousness, and it's not, stay with me. When I say anxious, I wake up with this excitement. Man, what do you have in store for me today? What's gonna happen today? What beautiful, peaceful thing is gonna happen today? What am I gonna experience today? What am I gonna learn today? And so I wake up every morning with excitement, man, looking forward to what's going to happen today. And so, as far as do I worry about stuff? Do I get stressed out and all that? Nah, family, we have to let that go. Worrying don't fix anything. Stressing doesn't fix anything. Stressing does not resolve any problems. All it does is give you more problems. Worrying doesn't fix anything. All it does is give you more problems. Worrying and stressing, worrying over the past and stressing over the future and all that, man, that's like taking drugs. All that does, it takes your mind off of it, and it really don't take your mind off it. All it does is give you more issues, more problems. That's why you hear me say, so many of us, man, we're addicted. We're addicted to the stress. We're addicted to our problems. We're addicted to the drama. We're addicted to it. We're fiending for it. I know so many people who everything could be going good in their life, just quiet and peaceful, and that scares them. That scares them, that everything is copacetic, everything is even keel, everything is like, man, this is too good to be true. And so they go create drama. They have to have some drama. Just so that they can sit back and like, for them to be able to exhale, for them to be comfortable. They can't be comfortable when everything's peaceful. They can't be comfortable when everything's even keel. They can't be comfortable when everything is going the way that it should go. And so they got to be messy. They start some stuff. Now all this turmoil is going on, and now they're able to exhale. Now all this turmoil is going on, and people are fighting and starting stupid stuff and because they don't started a whole bunch of mess. And now they're able to sit back like, now I feel good. Now I feel like me. This is the me. This is the me that I'm comfortable with. I'm not comfortable when things are peaceful. I'm not comfortable when everything is just relaxed and quiet. I gotta have some drama going on. I gotta have some mess going on. And I say this all the time. Everything is energy. Everything is energy. And so when you look at the people that need that drama in their life, when you look at the people that start drama and create drama and that's addicted to drama, man, they're addicted to that frequency. They're addicted to that energetic level. A trip, you can hook up with somebody who's from the hood or trailer parks or poor part of the town or whatever the case may be. They're not used to nice things. You know what I mean? They've never really experienced nice things. They've never experienced somebody loving on them and valuing them and appreciating them and treating them like a queen or king or whatever the case may be. You can meet somebody like that, right? And you could try to treat them like that. And that person, they're excited in the beginning, but they're uncomfortable. They're uncomfortable because in their mind, man, they don't believe that they deserve that. In their mind, they're not queen material. In their mind, they're not king material. In their mind, why are you being so nice to them? In their mind, what's your agenda? What's your angle? You're plotting on me because you're doing too much. You're plotting on me because you're trying to get me too comfortable. You're trying to get me to let my guards down. You're being way too nice. What's your angle? What are you trying to do to me? Because they're addicted to the drama. They're not used to being on this frequency. And so you've taken them out of their comfort zone. And you put them on your comfort zone. You put them on your frequency. And although they like you, they think you cool, but they are not comfortable being on that frequency. They're not comfortable in peace. They're not comfortable in joy. They're comfortable in drama. They're comfortable in turmoil and chaos. And so regardless of how nice you are to them, regardless how much you value them, regardless of how much you try to treat them like a queen, like a king, and you try to elevate them and all this other, they're not comfortable with that. And so they're going to go out and do some stupid stuff. They're going to go out and cheat on you. Regardless of how pure your heart is, they're going to go out and dog you out with the trampiest, low-lifest person out there. Why? Because that's their comfort zone. And so what happens is we that's trying to do the right thing, we that are trying to show people our true natures, we that are lighthearted, man, we're giving all these people love and joy and peace, and we're trying to elevate them and and man, they go out and they break our hearts. And because we get on their frequency because we're hurt now, you know what I mean? And we start feeling bad. And so, man, that lowers our frequency. And so we're not on that frequency that we were on. We've lowered our frequency. And because we lowered our frequency, now we're looking at these people and we're mad and we're bitter. And it's like, why the F would you do this to me? And I tried to be a good woman to you. I tried to be the right dude for you. And we'll do. And now we're ready to go in on them. And now women ain't shit and dudes ain't shit. And we'll do, man, because we lowered our frequency. We lowered our frequency. Now, we're in that negative thinking. We're in that negative vibe. It's like we're thinking, damn, you cheated on me? On me? Like, motherfucker, you don't even know who I am. Like, everybody told me not to give your raggedy ass, your ratchet ass a chance. You weren't even on my level, and I gave you a chance. Because we've lowered our frequency. We've lowered our frequency. We've allowed them to get us out of our comfort zone. We've allowed them to take us down a couple of pegs because they couldn't stay up on our level. And so then when you lose your cool and you go left on them and you cuss them out real good, or you slap the dog shit out of them, or you grab them and shake the shit out of them and you do some ratchet shit, now they see this part of you and they're like, ah, there you go. That's the you that I was waiting for. I was waiting for you to get ignorant. I was waiting for you to start cussing me out because that's the you that I know. That's the you that I'm comfortable with. I'm used to people calling me a bitch. I'm used to people calling me a punk. I'm used to people calling me a dog and a hoe and a skank and a tramp and whoop-doo-doo. See, when you're treating me like a queen, when you're treating me like a king, that wasn't really you. You were faking the funk, and I knew you were faking the funk. Now you don't got pissed off. Now the real you is coming out. Now the real tramp is coming out, and I see you for who you are. You're a fraud. You're not really about that peace life. You're not really about being elevated and being a beacon of hope and love. You are faking. Because as soon as I triggered you, the real you coming out, the ratchet you, the hood you. Oh, you can move out the hood, but the hood is always in you. Let somebody look at you wrong. Let somebody say the wrong thing to you and you revert back to your old ways. And that's all they want to see. That's all they want to see. Because they see you up here and they know that they can't get to that level. They know they can't stay on that frequency. And so the fact that you're operating on that frequency is an indictment on them. Because they know that's not the frequency that they operate on. They know that's not the frequency where they dwell at. Because they dwell in chaos. They dwell in hell. And they see you living this life just carefree, oblivious to the stressors and the worries of life. And some of them are like, oh, you act like you all that, and you so bougie, and you so uppity, and you so da-da-da-da-da. Man, that's them. That's their issue because they can't get on your frequency. Don't allow them to lower your frequency. Don't allow them to make you revert back to your old ways. Because once you revert back to your old ways, that's all they want to see. They want to see, oh yeah, you still that ratchet ass motherfucker you always been. Oh, you still hood. You still hood. You may dress up. You may put on some nice clothes. You may change your address. You may change your vehicle. You may change your hairstyle. You may change how you talk around all these other people. You get all sedity, all uppity, and start pronouncing your words all right, and you start articulating yourself and being all charismatic. But we know the motherfucking hood you. We know the dead or ratchet ass you. And that's the one we want to see. That's the one we can relate to. So you being up here on this high frequency, that's too much for us. Man, we got to grow up. We have to grow up. We have to understand, man, it's nobody's responsibility to put us on the frequency that we want to be on but ourselves. It's not my job to elevate everybody else's responsibility. Or excuse me, to elevate everybody else's frequency. I'm saying again, if you're married, if you're in a relationship, your family, whatever the case may be, it's not your job to elevate their frequency. It's your job to show them that, man, we can elevate our own frequency whenever we want to. And if we're not careful, we can lose that frequency and go right back down to being the most ratchet hood dude on the block. But what we do when we do that, we lose credibility with those people. We lose that testimony. Nobody's perfect, and it's not about being perfect. But you have to understand who you are. Either you're a beacon of hope, a beacon of love, a beacon of light, or you really ain't. I see, I can look out this window here, and there's a lighthouse down there. And regardless of the weather around it, whether it's stormy or whether it's 100 degrees outside, it could be hailing, it could be snowing, regardless of the circumstances around the lighthouse, that lighthouse always remains a lighthouse. It never changes. Just because the environment changes, the light doesn't go out. It doesn't stop being a beacon of hope because the environment changes, because the circumstances changes. And so that's what we're called to be. We're called to be these beacons of hope, these beacons of joy, these beacons of love. We can't allow our circumstances, we can't allow the people around us to dim our light. We can't allow that. And in the beginning of our process, understand, in the beginning of your journey, you're going to do that. You're going to allow people to lower your frequency. And it's not that you're allowing people to lower your frequency. You're choosing to lower your frequency. Why? Because you still got ego issues. And man, I got to tell this motherfucker that, man, just because I don't change some shit, just because I don't got educated, don't mean that I can't cuss you out one side and down the other side. Don't mean that I'm afraid to throw these hands with you. Don't mean that I can't kick you in your throat still. Don't mean that I can't beat your ass and drag the fuck out of you. You know what I mean? And we get stuck in our ego sometimes. And it's like, man, these motherfuckers, because I don't got this stuff, they don't think I don't lost my blackness, because I don't got here, because I got this platform, because I got this education, because I talk to all these people. These motherfuckers forget that I've been black my whole life, and I'm always gonna be black. And I'm not afraid to put hands on your motherfucking ass. Don't make me go back there. And we say this stupid shit because we don't deal with our shit. And so we blame these people for, quote unquote, making us revert back to who we was. And some of us, we go right back there because we got to prove a point to somebody. Don't get the shit twisted. I might be educated, but I still stomp the fuck out of you. I might be educated, but I could cuss your motherfucking ass out and sound just as black as anybody on the fucking hood. See, we still got that ego shit that we got to prove our blackness, prove our hood, prove our street. Prove that we still connected and we still hood, we still street. You know what I mean? It's like, that's not what we came here for. You can't rep the street and be a beacon of hope at the same time. You can't rep the street and the hood and the block and be a beacon of hope, a beacon of change, a beacon of love. They're totally different frequencies. They're totally different frequencies. How are you going to rep your hood and your block and represent love at the same time? How are you going to rep your street? Because that street mentality is totally different. The street mentality is on survival. The street mentality is, man, if you do something wrong, man, I gotta check you on the spot. And you don't get no passes. Nobody gets a free pass on the hood. Nobody gets a free pass on the block. They disrespect you, you better check them, and you better check them hard. Why? Because you gotta send a point to everybody else that you're not that one. You're not that punk. You're not that mark. So don't play me. Don't try me. It's such a totally different frequency. The frequency of love. Then the frequency of, man, I want to show people a better way. I want to show people a better way. You don't have to be like that. You don't have to use your mouth to tear people down. And see, for me, that was hard, man, because, man, I got a mouthpiece. And I had no problems with telling people where they could go. I would tell you to go to hell and you would enjoy the fucking ride. I would tell you that you wasn't shit and make you feel like I just gave you a compliment. And I learned, because in the military, you have to respect the position. You have to respect the rank. And so you learn how to be respectful and still get your point across. And so I had to learn what's more important. Is it more important for me to check you, or is it more important for me to show you that, man, I've changed? And see, when you become a beacon of love, a beacon of light, a beacon of joy, man, you use your words. You use your frequency to uplift, not tear down. You use your words and your energy to inspire, to encourage, to empower others to reach their full potential. You don't use your power. You don't use your energy. You don't use your words to tear people down and to make them feel less than. And so in the beginning of your process, in the beginning of your journey, you're going to make these mistakes. Understand that. It is what it is. It doesn't mean that you suck. It doesn't mean that you're a failure. It just means that, man, you're learning. Man, I shouldn't have reacted that way. I should not have responded that way. We're talking about being lighthearted. I didn't have to go off like that. And see, for me, man, when I grew up in the hood, people would always say, man, why did you do that? Man, why you do the most? Like, why are you always going in so hard? Man, you didn't have to do all of that. You didn't have to say all that. All that wasn't necessary. But once I get going and I start flowing and we'll do, man, I don't know what I'm saying. I don't know what I'm saying. Because I'm on one and it's just why? Because I'm going for the jugular. I'm going to shut you down to where you never, ever, 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 ever want to come at me again. You never, ever, ever want to challenge me again. You never, ever, ever want to try me again. I had to learn, man. Is this the way you came here? To tear people down? Is this why you came here to tell people that they suck at living? Is this why you came here to make people feel this bad about themselves? Is this why you came here to make people feel like they're an epic failure? Is this why you came here to make people feel like they ain't shit? And like they're really beneath you? And that they're not even worthy of your time. They're not worthy of your energy. They're not worthy of you empowering them and encouraging them and uplifting them. Is this really why you came here? Or did you come here to inspire them? Did you come here to show them a better way? See, in order to show them a better way, you got to control your ego. In order to show them a better way, you got to take control over your ego. Because your ego is going to make you go left. Or your ego is going to make you feel like You're a doormat. And it's okay for people to just step all over you and walk all over you. And they to give you this false sense of humility, this false sense of being a beacon of hope and love. And you just allowing people to just drag your ass all over the fucking place because you have no healthy boundaries. And so you allow people to just drain the fuck out of you and use the hell out of you. And your ego has you convinced, man, look at your righteous life. You're so pious. You're so godly. No, you're a fucking doormat. You're not a beacon of hope. You're not a beacon of love. You're not helping people by allowing them to just use the fuck out of you. You didn't come here for that. So you got to learn to control your ego. You got to learn to control your ego. Don't allow your ego to make you go left to where you don't have a problem with cussing them out and putting them in their place. Or your ego make you go right and allow you just get dogged out and you never speak up for yourself. You never walk in your full power. You never walk in your full authority. And your ego have you convinced that that's a righteous person. Your ego have you convinced that's representing God. That's God-like. No, that has nothing to do with God. That has nothing to do with being righteous. Man, we got to grow up. We have to grow up. Man, if you was to die today, how heavy is your heart? How heavy is your heart? You could tell how heavy your heart is by how heavy your mind is. You could tell how heavy your heart is by how much you're stressing, how much you're full of fear and worry and doubt and anxiety for the future. And you got bitterness and ungratefulness and animosity and bitterness and all this other stuff. Because all of that stuff is toxic energy. And it's heavy. It's heavy. It's heavy. It weighs you down. It tires you out. It stresses you out. Man, we're heavy. We're heavy. We're heavy. Because we won't allow the past to stay in the past and the future to stay in the future. We're heavy because we won't take control of our mind. We won't take control over our ego. We're heavy because we have a victim mentality, so we hold on to the painful crap that we've gone through. And we don't want to let it go. Because I'm mad as hell that I had to go through this. Because the shit wasn't fair. It wasn't right. I didn't do nothing to deserve this. We have to learn to let that go. You can't be grateful and hold on to all that toxic crap. You can't be loving and hold on to all that toxic crap. Again, we're talking about totally different frequencies. Totally different frequencies. This trip, my queen and I were walking down the boardwalk yesterday. And great, just feeling, just vibing, just everything cool. And she got a phone call. And it kind of just bothered her for a little bit. And so I'm talking to her about it. And we have to understand, family, man, we have a choice. We have to understand that these entities always want to keep us on a low frequency. And so you're always going to get this stuff. You're always going to get these attacks, if you want to call them attacks. You're always going to get these tests. And there's always going to be the people that you care about the most. So it may be your mama, it may be your daddy, it may be a sibling, it may be your ratchet, sorry ass kids. You know what I mean? It may be the dude that you're waiting to go out on a date with and he canceled. Whatever the case may be, it's always going to be somebody shooting you a text message. It's always going to be somebody calling you with some stupid stuff. You're in a great mood. You're in a high frequency. Your vibe is right. You're on cloud 9. And you see this post. You hear this message. You see this text. And what does it do? Man, it just makes you crash back down to earth quick as fuck. You know what I mean? It's just a buzzkill. Completely just shot you from being way up here all the way back down here. Now you're frustrated. Now you're doubting. Now you're kind of angry. Now you're worried. You got all these other things because all they did was test you. All they did was test you. They didn't even know that they're being used to test you. It's not that they hate you, they're being used to test you, to show you where you're at, to show you that you have control over your own frequency. That's all it is. Don't take it for more. I'm gonna say it again. All it is a test. It's a test from the universe, a test from source, a test from the Most High, a test from God, whatever you want to call it. It's just a test, just to show you where you're at. Just to show you, look how quick you lowered your frequency. Look how quick you got disconnected from your greater good. Look how quick your frequency changed. Boom, just like that. Just like that. You went from vibing high to, man, you own one now. Now you're mad. Now you're frustrated. Now you're angry. Now you got doubt and worry and fear and all this other stuff. You chose to lower your frequency. And that's all these things are. It's just to show you, man, you got control over this. You have total control over this. And so the queen was talking. She said, well, so how do you maintain? How do you stay at that high frequency? And understand, we don't always stay there. But when we catch ourselves, when we understand, just this phone call made me change. I was in a good mood. And now I'm this and that and whatever. When you catch it, you have a choice to stay there or go back up to the high frequency. The choice is yours. The choice is yours. You could stay on that low vibrating frequency or you could elevate your frequency again. And the more you go through these tests, the more you go through these trials, the more you go through these tribulations or whatever you want to call them, the shorter period of time you realize you stay on that low frequency. You realize that, man, I'm catching this faster. I'm more aware that, oh, this is what this is. Oh, and you automatically switch and go right back up to where you were at. Why? Because you see it for what it is. You recognize it a lot faster now. Everything is always working out for you. Everything. It's all these things going on in your life. Man, they're just showing you, look how fast you gave up your power. Look how fast you gave up your authority. Look how fast you gave up your connection with infinite power, infinite wisdom, infinite knowledge. Look how fast you gave up your connection with the greater version of yourself. And look how fast you went down to the most ratchet and vile being that you were. Look how fast you went back and reverted back to being ghetto and hood and street and woo-doo-doo-woo. It's always a test. Why? To get you to understand who you are, to get you to understand the power that you possess within you. Nobody can be a buzzkill. Nobody can be a joy kill. You choose that. You choose that. Nobody can steal your joy. You give it to them. Nobody can rob you of your happiness and your peace of mind. You give that to them. You just surrender it to them. And so you have to learn that, man, I'm in control over my life. And I'm in control over my life because I choose to stay on this frequency. And so when all this crazy stuff happens, what do? Man, I think about something else. What I mean, when all this crazy stuff happens, I think about, man, it's all good. I may not understand the lesson. I may not understand how this is working out for me. And I don't have to understand it at this particular moment. All I have to do is trust the fact that everything is always working out for me. Everything. And so when something happens, man, I sit back and it's like, okay, man, what is this supposed to teach me? What am I supposed to learn from this? And then I start thinking about all the things that I'm grateful for. I change my frequency by being grateful. I start thinking about all the things that are going good in my life. All the things that I'm grateful for now. And so I raise my elevation back to where it was. By choosing what I'm going to think about. By choosing to be grateful. By choosing to be loving. By choosing to be compassionate. Choosing to understand that these people that are being used is not personal. They're just showing me where I'm at. They're showing me my true power. And so many of us, we think we're so much smarter than what we are. So many of us, we think we're so much more powerful than what we are. We think we've elevated so much. We've grown so much. And so these things show us, and you ain't really grown as much as you thought you've grown. You still got some more work to do. And that's a good thing, because it's teaching you who you are and where you're at in your growth and development. Lighthearted. Man, you stay lighthearted by staying grateful. You stay lighthearted by staying loving, by staying compassionate, by staying kind. And only then can your heart equal the weight of a feather. Only then can your heart and a feather be balanced. Why? Because you're not overwhelmed. You're not weighed down with the stressors and the frustrations and the bitterness and the animosity and the hatred and all the other toxic crap. That's heavy. That's heavy. Understand that love and gratitude are the highest frequencies. And regardless of what you say, that's true. What I mean, that's true. You can't fake that. You could fake a smile all day long. You could walk around just cheesing, just, oh, everything's so good, and man, I'm so happy, and man, I'm so in love, and be frustrated, and be miserable, and be angry. And so many of us, we've been fake for so long. We've masked and we've got doctorate degrees on knowing how to put on a mask and how everything is okay. Everything is copacetic. I'm good. And we're dying at the same time. We're smiling to the world like we ain't stressing over nothing, like ain't nothing bothering us, and we're dying on the inside. We're suicidal on the inside. We're homicidal on the inside. We're a step from losing our mind on the inside. And we're smiling to the world. We're walking around faking the funk like everything is good. Like nothing phases us. And we're dying because you cannot fake your energy. You cannot fake your frequency. You can't fake those at all. No one can fake their frequency. No one can fake their energy. Man, lighthearted. Are you lighthearted? Are you lighthearted? That doesn't make you a punk. That doesn't make you a pushover. That doesn't make you passive. That makes you righteous. Being lighthearted. That makes you righteous. That just means that you're connected to source, connected to your greater good. And that's why when people see you, they see God. That's why when people hear you, they hear love. That's why when people walk past you and you're operating on that high frequency and people walk past you, man, there's something about your frequency that catches them. There's something about your frequency that attracts them to you. There's something about your frequency, man, they just want to be in your vicinity. They just want to be in your area. Because it's peaceful. It's true. It's true. It's real. It's real. Man, my hope and prayer is that we learn to allow the past go. We learn to let the future go. We learn to live in the here and now. We learn to be mindful of our thoughts. We learn to be mindful of our frequency. What's up, Ride or Die? We're mindful of our frequency. Because you have to understand, that's what matters. That's what matters. What frequency are you on? Whatever frequency you're on, that's the energy you're going to give out. I'm going to say this again. Whatever frequency you are on, you're going to be a beacon of light, a beacon of hate, a beacon of whatever it is. You're going to be a beacon of that frequency. So if your frequency is shot to hell and is low, man, you're going to display hate, animosity, bitterness, resentfulness, frustration, fear, all this stuff, anxiety. That's what you're going to put out. Because that's the frequency you're on. Your frequency can't lie. Your energy can't lie. At all. And so if you're riding on a high frequency, the energy that you're going to put out is love, gratitude, compassion, kindness. But if you're on a low frequency, you're going to put out all kind of drama, all kind of chaos, fear, anxiety, and everything else. But you have a choice. The choice is always yours. It's always been yours. The most important thing is, where is my frequency? Where is my frequency? If my frequency is right, man, I don't have to worry about anything. If my frequency is right, man, I'm going to attract wealth to me. If my frequency is right, man, I'm going to attract the right people in my life. If my frequency is right, I'm going to attract the king in my life. If my frequency is right, I'm going to attract the queen in my life. If my frequency is right, I'm going to attract the right business opportunities and all these other things in my life. If my frequency is wrong, I'm going to attract the hood rats. I'm going to attract the wrong people in my life. I'm going to attract the wrong frequency or the wrong energies in my life. All the things that I don't want. If my frequency is right, man, I'm going to feel light. I'm going to feel like I have no cares in the world. People are going to see me as so nonchalant and just so carefree, like you don't worry about anything, you don't stress over anything, because you don't, because your frequency is right, because you understand everything is always working out for you. Everything is always working out for you. Man, I love you guys. I thank you guys for being here. I thank you guys for being a part of this live. I thank you guys for your love, your beautiful energy. And you hear me say this a lot. Namaste. The God within me, the light, the love within me sees, recognizes, acknowledges, and cherishes the love, the light within each and every one of you. Because every one of you have God within you. Every one of you can manifest God on that high frequency. Or you can manifest the other crazy shit. You know what I mean? The choice is yours. It's always yours. And nobody can steal that from you. Nobody can rob you of that. Nobody can rob you of that. Happy healing. Peace.